In this video, I'm going to go over how to work in the front loops and the back loops of your project. And we're also going to go over how to do color changes. So when you're working in one yarn and you want to switch to working in another color. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my hook. For this, I'm going to use a 4mm crochet hook from the toolkit. And let's get started. So what I have started right here is just a base chain, and then I did one whole row of single crochet, then a second whole row of single crochet, and then I just did 2 single crochets right here. So that's just going to make it easier for me to show you what's the difference between the front loop and the back loop, and then we're going to work on the front loop and the back loop several times so you can see step by step how to make them and what I do. So first of all, you can see that there's several, I like to think of them as almost a V shape. There's several of them all throughout here. Each of those is a stitch. So I'm going to put my hook through a random one so we can look at it better. If I'm holding it this way because I am working this way, so when I crochet I would be holding it like so and working across. This right here, this one line is my front loop, and then this one in the back is the back loop. So let me just go through the front loop, and I'm just going to go through the back loop so you can see it better, and then this is both loops. So normally when you're single crocheting, if it doesn't, or just crocheting in general, if it doesn't say front loop only or back loop only, what you generally are doing is crocheting through both loops. So again, if it says front loop only, you're going to be doing this. Back loop only, you're going to be doing this. And then general crocheting is through both loops. So a lot of times, front loop only or back loop only, they do leave certain textures, which is very cool when you're crocheting different things. So I'm going to show you how to single crochet in the front loop only. So remember, we're leaving behind this back loop. We're only going to work through this front loop. So I would just insert the hook, pull the yarn through, yarn over, and single crochet as normal. So I'm going to just go through the front loop, pull the yarn through, and yarn over through both. So I'm just going to single crochet all across, pull the yarn through, so insert the hook, pull the yarn through, yarn over, and under both loops. And remember, I'm not going through this loop, just the front. Okay, so I've come to the end, and when I turn the project around, you can see these stitches right here that are left. Those are the back loops that we didn't work through. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like when you only work through the back loop. So I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and I'm skipping that chain 1 that we just made, but I'm going to single crochet across, only going through the back loop. So I'm not going through the front. Again, I'm just inserting the hook, pulling the yarn through, then we're going under both of those loops. Insert the hook, pull the yarn through, going through both. And I'm going to do that until the very end, so 2 more stitches. So this is what it looks like, and it does give it a texture. So you can see my work is kind of getting a ridge. So right here was when we only went through the front loop. And then this right here, where it gives it a lot of texture, is only working through the back loop. So you can see the difference. One of them is a little bit more subtle. The other one you can really see, and it'll definitely give you a bit of texture. So it depends. Whatever your pattern says, that's what you're gonna do. That's what you're gonna work through. But now you know how to do both front loop and back loop only, and how to distinguish that, which is which on your stitch. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to chain 1 and turn the work. I'm just gonna single crochet 2 stitches, and now I'm gonna show you how I like to color change. So I'm gonna bring a new skein of yarn. We're gonna be working a little bit with this yellow. What I like to do, if I'm gonna color change in this next stitch, what I'm gonna do is insert the hook, pull the yarn through, and instead of single crocheting like normal, which would be putting the yarn over the hook and pulling through both, what I'm gonna do, let me get back to where I was, insert the hook, pull the yarn through. What I'm gonna do is put the yarn over. So this is the new yarn over, and I'm just letting it hang for a second. And I'm gonna actually pull this yarn through, so the new color. And what I do working here on out, I only work with the new yarn. So now I'm single crocheting only with the yellow, so I left behind the blue tail, and I'm only working with the yellow yarn. And like that, you have a pretty seamless color change where it's very nice, and you can't really see where you don't have any lines like falling over of the old color. I really like to color change like that, so I could keep crocheting across. Just like that. And I'm going to show you how I did that color change. I'm going to go back and do it again. So that is the way that I do it. I insert the hook, pull the yarn through, and again, instead of yarning over and pulling the blue through, I grab the new yarn, which in this case is yellow, and I'm going to use the yellow to go through. And now I'm working with the yellow yarn instead of the blue. So I'm going to go through and do a single crochet. Now I'm going to do a front loop only, single crochet, and then I'm going to do a back loop only, and then in this last one I'll do a normal single crochet going through both loops. So there's that. And then when you finish your project or you get close to finishing, you can always weave in these ends, which is going to hide the ends through, and it'll keep your project nice and clean. So now you learned how to do a color change, how to work in the front loop only, and how to work in the back loop only. I really hope this helped you and that you were able to learn and do some new crochet stitches.